Okay, so this is an update. This is week 2 of our move from Crowborough to Morpeth, and despite the fact that I'm looking pretty laid back here, it's actually turning into something of a logistical nightmare and an absolute fiasco. I am still whinging about it. I am still very, very angry about it, and as the costs mount up, I'm getting even more angry. I just want to lead on from the last recording that I made where I said my car was making a horrendous noise. It turns out that what had actually happened was someone had stolen the catalytic converter. There was a spate of robberies in Crowborough, and so that has now scuppered a load of plans as well. So we've got to remake our plans around that. That's being repaired. That's costing me my excess. It's costing me my no claims bonus, and some of my insurance will almost certainly go up next year. I've also had to pay £200 to get what is known as a cat lock to stop it happening again. So thank you to the absolute tosser who took that from my car outside my house. Up your pipe, sunshine. There is a lot of stuff about Section 21 which is around at the moment, and all of the upheaval that it causes, and that's fair enough. But one thing which is really not covered is the costs. Now, our costs are a little bit higher because we're moving to the other end of the country, but even if we were only moving down to the end of the road, it would still be a very expensive process. And the biggest cost, and this really pisses me off, is that we are having to pay rent now. We've been thrown out of our house and we are having to pay rent for the next 2 months, because I've had to give 2 months notice, for a house that we can't live in. We are just surrounded by boxes. I say we can't live in, we can't enjoy. So we are surrounded by boxes. We're selling all the stuff we don't want to sell. And it is really, really annoying. We're paying £2,000 over the next 2 months for a house that we can't live in. That is outrageous. Landlady is quite happy to take the money, obviously, so that kind of works in her favour a bit. But yeah, pretty outraged. I mean, we've got to pay another £2,000 for the other house, but technically, you know, we could live there. We could live in one of them. On top of that, you've got your moving costs, which come up. Early termination of the broadband, that's going to cost me 200 quid. So there's a lot of additional cost to being a tenant, which is very, very annoying. Something else that's really annoying is that they're supposed to be banning Section 21. Now, that's a whole other discussion. Landlords and tenants sit on opposite sides of the argument, and there's merits for both. But if that law had been passed by the Tories 3 years ago, when they said they were going to do, I would still be in my house. This wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't be talking to you now. So anyway, that's the whinging out of it. There's nothing I can do about it except wallow in my own poverty. That's another weird thing as well. Apparently, I'm too poor to own a house, but I can spend thousands and thousands of pounds moving between rented accommodation. So how does that work? The good things that have happened this week, they're good things. So we've sold some of our big ticket items. That's good, but particularly really pleased that we sold our table to Ros and Andy, who are fans of Whingy Old Git, and I'm really, really thrilled that they're having our table. The table has minimal actual value. It's a nice table, but it is that emotional attachment to the table. It's where we had all our family meals, all the parties, everything. And the thought of someone just coming along and pushing it and shoving it, going, oh, well, it's got a scratch here, I don't really want, that was actually filling me with dread, because we've got no room for it. We have to sell it. And to know that it's going somewhere, even if it's only for a couple of months, but somewhere where it's going to be used by friends who will enjoy it as much as we did, that is actually really pleasing news. So today I was supposed to be driving up to Morpeth again and taking some more stuff, but I'm not. LNER did give me a refund on my tickets, which they weren't obliged to do, so there's another good thing there. It does mean we've had to change our plans around, but today we've now got some time to put some more stuff in boxes and not live in the house that we're paying for here in Crowborough. I'm over it. I'm totally over it. But before I do any of that, and the reasons I'm wearing my working clothes is because I have to go over to Uckfield and just do a little quick repair on Claire's exhaust with my brother. Now, it'd be nice to see my brother anyway. So that's us for this week. I did say when I did the vlog last week that it would be proper whingy, and it is. But yeah, let's see how it goes. We've got to be out of here on the 26th of July, come hell or high water, and there's a few key dates in between. Hopefully we're going to make it. Still angry though. Have a lovely week, everyone. Righty-ho, here we are at week number 3. I'm going to join week numbers 2 and 3 together. We've just spent all week selling our stuff. There's, again, not really a great deal to tell. So the big news this week is that my catalytic converter is on back order. It's going to take weeks, if not months, to get hold of a new one because of the general shortages of things. That's going to be a little bit awkward because they were supposed to be delivering the car back to me here, and by the time it's done, I'm going to be living in Northumberland, which they found a little bit shocking, but luckily I'll be in this area on occasion, so we'll have to find a way to do that. I'm sure it's not going to be insurmountable. What is really annoying is that I don't have a car at the moment. It's sort of really piling on the pressure now because this time next week we should be on our way up in a van, so we got just under a week to get all the big stuff ready to go in a van. That means depleting the freezer, getting rid of all the things that we're not taking. We've got to take a sofa up there, and then we've got a couple of weeks of living between the two houses. So we've got half our stuff up in Morpeth, and then the other half is down here in Crowborough. It's a pain in the arse. Clearing out the garden, burning stuff all week long, that's been a pain in the arse. The whole thing is just a pain in the arse. It's gone beyond being exacerbated by the fact that someone else is forcing us to do this now. It's just painful. It's one of the reasons we didn't want to go. This house is absolutely shit where we're living. It is so bad. We've always had a relationship with the landlady where we've had low rent, and she just doesn't do stuff here. But sort of looking around and looking at this new place, you realise actually it's not that great living in this house. There's water comes up through the floor when it rains. It has to rain really, really hard. But if you look at my vlog from when we went to Scotland, just before we went, it hammered down with rain, and water came up through the floor. That's probably not ideal living conditions, is it? Yeah, plaster's falling off the walls. There's cracks. The front of the house is falling off. Yeah, we like it because it's home, and like I say, if there was somewhere else to move in Crowborough, I don't think we'd be quite as bitter and twisted about this. But this house per se is shit, except for my office, which I built myself. That's really good. I'm gonna miss that. Yeah, I want to try and do a midweek vlog to explain a little bit more of the context rather than just me being whingy old git saying about the things that are happening to us. I want to document what's happening to us, really more than anything else, because I want to look back on this and hopefully look back on this and go, it was all a storm in a teacup. Look how life great is now. But outside of that, this process has really opened our eyes to what is genuinely a crisis. I know people overuse these words, but it is genuinely a crisis in the UK housing market. And it's not just because people like me, whingy old gits, have to move on. It's a much bigger picture, and there's a huge problem. And so I just want to explore that a little bit in a video. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it, but just getting my thoughts down and hopefully editing those together at a later date. Nobody unsubscribed last week, so thank you for that. I do appreciate that. It gets me here. What is it they do? You're going to unsubscribe now, aren't you? Just to stick it to me. Anyway, I hope your week is better than mine. I'm trying to remain positive about this. We both are. It's very difficult, but we are trying to remain positive. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you next week, when we will probably have something more interesting, where we'll be on the road in a van. So you'll get some vlog of me and the present Mrs. C, who everybody loves better than me, sitting in a van on the side of the A1. Eating a bacon roll, maybe. Who knows? Catch you later. Bye for now.